The world of plat fighters has seen some truly bizarre characters over the years, from visually weird characters like Mr. Game & Watch, all the way to mechanically weird characters like Melee Luigi, and even some of both like Business Casual Man from Slap City. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is definitely no stranger to this, as this game also hosts Cat Dog and Ren and Stimpy. But among the roster is one of the most bizarre plat fighter characters, if not the most bizarre of all time. And his name is Hugh Neutron.
Yes, sir. Looks like everything's hunky-dory in the world of Hugh Neutron. Sweet leaping.
Now, on his own, Hugh is already a pretty bizarre character. He's the eccentric father of Jimmy Neutron, and every time you see him doing something in the show, he's always doing something weird or eccentric.
But hey, look at all the pie! Yes!
But even for a game like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is filled with weirdos, Hugh is truly in a league of his own in this game, or really any game in general. I don't think there's a single character in any other game that's like Hugh Neutron in this game. Even the way he got into the game is weird. He was already a highly requested character due to internet memes surrounding him, but that started a campaign known as Hugh Nation that was so large that even his voice actor, Mark DiCarlo, was in on it, and eventually Ludosity caved in and made him DLC for the Summer Universe pack. In fact, in-game, Hugh has a taunt that references this entire campaign, which is a great way to circle back to it.
Hugh Nation!
But enough talk about how he got in. Let's talk about why this character is super fucking weird. The first reason why Hugh is super bizarre is because of his movement. When he's just walking around, he is extremely slow. I believe he's the same speed as Reptar when he's doing this. But to combat this, he has the most slippery and long wave dash in the game. Now, a low traction character is nothing new. Again, Melee Luigi has been doing this for over 2 decades now. But in Nick Brawl, where everybody's wave dash is usually a universal constant, this makes him stick out extremely. And if this movement wasn't bizarre enough for you, he also has a very floaty double jump, which allows him to go higher in the air than any other character in the game. Now, this double jump is a blessing and a curse. For one thing, it allows Hugh players to chase characters in the air and do air combos that no other character can do. But on the other hand, the ascend is slow, so when he's offstage, if he jumps, it can be a very dangerous position if the opponent is on top of him. He also has the only strong dash in the game that can't be cancelled into another move. This move is basically diet backslash. If you use it offstage, you are dead. But every so often, it can be used as a good edgeguard tool. Hugh is also the only character in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl to have 2 stall and fall down airs, which can be seen as a detriment because usually downers are used as get-off me's, but Hugh's light downer, the pogo stick, is actually pretty good. If you know how to use it proficiently, it can be surprisingly good with edge guarding. But it's also a move that you absolutely positively need to know how to use, because if you use this off stage without knowing what it does, I mean, there's also strong there. This move is fucking useless. He's also the only character in the game to have a 5-part down tilt. Though, in a real match, anything past 1 to 2 is pretty much useless. Hugh's specials are also nothing to scoff at. His neutral special is him aiming a duck and then throwing it. But if you have the time to throw it backwards and then aim it at the player, it actually becomes a level 2 projectile. A lot of Nick Brawl projectiles have a level system. The way it works is that when you throw a projectile the first time, it's simply just a level 1 projectile. But if you grab and then throw it, or reflect it, it'll become a level 2 projectile. So having a projectile that can be charged to level 2 by default is pretty good for Hugh. He also has his motorbike, which, while not as versatile as Wario Bike by any means, is still a pretty good projectile in its own right. The knockback when you turn around with this move is surprisingly good, and it can be used to recover high. Also, there's a really weird glitch where if you aim it a certain way on the ledge, it will cause the explosion to stay there for a really long time, and it causes some really funny glitches. It's one of the funniest things you can do in the game. However, while all of these moves make him unique on his own, they pale in comparison to his one move. The most bizarre move that no other character in the game has. Hugh Neutron has a back air. Now, I know what you may be thinking. A back air? That's nothing special. Every character in Smash Bros. Has a back air. Yeah. Every character in Smash Bros. Has a back air. No characters in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl have a back air, except for Hugh. On top of that, this move is really, really good. If it was on any other character, it would probably make them top 1. The animation is pretty similar to his light nair, except he puts more effort into it and spins more like a drill rather than kind of like a donut, I don't know.
Donut boy!
But this move hits multiple times and has a hitbox on his head and his legs. The front hitbox is used more for comboing, while the back hitbox is used more for edge guarding. But when combined into a combo, it can lead to some nasty combos and edge guards, even made more nasty by the fact that no other character can do stuff like this. Combine that with his crazy movement and his weird double jump, and you have a character that feels nothing like any other character you've played before. And that's why Hugh Neutron is one of the most bizarre fighting game characters in history. is what I would say. But we're not even done yet. Because they gave Hugh Neutron, Jimmy Neutron's dad, this one random character in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. By doing a 360 motion plus taunt, which is the most bizarre input in any fighting game I've ever done past maybe King of Fighters, he will do his own version of Hayukuzen, a super that Chun-Li has had in many Street Fighter games. They actually never revealed that he could do this in the trailer, and it was only found out by a player named I Don't Know, yes, that is literally their tag, only a few hours after he came out. Now, is the move actually good? The answer to that question is actually yes, it is pretty good. It's not a move you should spam, as there are ways to block and then grab out of it, but it can lead into some nasty combos, and it's actually pretty good for getting damage. But even if the move was bad, the fact that the Ludosity had the audacity to put this in the game is insane. Okay, so Hugh has crazy movement, a weird back air, and he has Chun-Li kicks. So I'm sure you're probably wondering, how good is he? When he was first released, Hugh was not thought to be a very good character. Bizarrely enough, a lot of this was because of how tall he is. Hugh is a tall midweight, which is a bad combination in Nick Brawl. A good majority of the characters in this game can do very free flow strings, so being a tall character that doesn't have the weight to back it up can be a very big detriment. And the other reason is that a lot of people thought he was too hard and that it wasn't worth it to really lab him out or optimize him. That is, until a player named TheBeanary stepped in. Beanary only started being active when Hugh came out because he was his favorite character in the game and he really wanted to play the character competitively. And as a result, he had somewhat of a rough start because he didn't really have any platform fighter fundamentals. He was mostly just this guy from YouTube that really wanted to play the character because he loved Jimmy Neutron and he thought he was funny. But through thick and thin, and many hard nights, he eventually got so good at Hugh that he actually made the most recent power ranking. Without Beanary strongly pushing and optimizing the character, Hugh would likely still be considered a bottom tier character. But he really showed everybody to like, so big props to Beanary for sticking it through. It helps that Hugh has a very strong advantage state. While he doesn't do a ton of damage, once he gets combos and edge guards going, he can really be a powerhouse. He's also a very unorthodox character that a lot of people don't really know how to work around. So a seasoned Hugh player can do a lot of tricky mix-ups that make them difficult to fight. Despite that though, his weaknesses are still very clear. He's a tall, floaty midweight in a game where combos are kind of prioritized, and if he's not careful, characters like Michelangelo or Garfield can kind of curb stomp him. However, despite these apparent quirks, Hugh is still a 100% viable character, and most people tend to rank him in the mid-tier these days. Despite Nick Brawl having a very silly cast, Hugh is definitely the silliest of them all, with his weird back air, his floaty double jump, and his Chun-Li kicks. He's really not just the most bizarre character in Nick Brawl, but also one of the most bizarre characters in any fighter I've ever played. But you know what? That's what I love about him. He's unique in his own special way. And I think we could all learn from that. There could be 100 more Platfighter games, or even more Smash Ultimate DLC. But no matter what, there will never be another character like Hugh Neutron. He's truly coasting in his own league of ducks and pie, and I wouldn't have him any other way.
Goodbye, old friend.
Thank you for watching. This is one of the first videos where I'm actually using my voice, which I'm not very fond of. But if you like more content like this and would like me to make more, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.